New Year, can't see you again. Over 50 people get murdered since the year start. Wow. But today I have to kind of ease the pressure a little. I really try to. Yeah, man, I remember and her husband. Yes. The late great Junior Delgado, man. Yes. Why you know, all the one the moon know them artists. It was an Italian. Yeah, all the one I think he was a Spaniard. That is how the thing go. I swear Christopher Columbus was a Spaniard. Till I come out of school, I realized, so no, he's an Italian from a place named Genoa. And the thing about it, we get the opportunity to go to Genoa. But find out exactly about him and which part him is there and all them something. And when we go to Portugal, and he was part of the African trading in Portugal when the Portuguese them go take out African and carry them go to Portugal. Because not all of the African them did come across what them call the Middle Passage, you know. No, not all of it did come across the Middle Passage. Some of us never set foot in a way you call the Americas, yeah. Some of us go across the Sahara, you know, that hot blazing sun. Yeah, man. Whole heap of history. And we really have to know it, you know. Yeah, man, we have to know it because them write out a whole heap of way out of history already. Whole heap of African values and behaviors and attitudes. Them wipe it out of way and put for them thing. And now we have to live like, say, we don't have no history more than slavery. Anyway, we're going to take another break and come forward because enough things, history class, history time, and show you all the connection between Europeans in Africa, Arabs in Africa, and now we say Chinese and American in Africa. I try to figure out which part of them want to colonize again. And if you don't mind sharp, I will leave them African, we'll make it colonize again. We'll take the break and come. Serious thing. I want you to listen to this, you know. I want you to listen to this. Because you know we always play these things for your, not only entertainment, but edification.
A number of comments have objected to you using the general term the West. And they want you to be more specific because there is no monolithic bloc called the West. It is an unfair generalization, they say.
It's not my term, it's your term. I didn't come up with it, you did. You call yourselves the West. Western civilization. We all grew up hearing about how wonderful. West are you talking about exactly? Who do you mean by the West? The way you people tell the story, people like Douglas Murray or Jordan Peterson or Sam Harris or Richard Dawkins or Hitchens, Christopher Hitchens, all these types, you would think that every European on the continent participated in painting the Sistine Chapel. Everyone painting in shifts. All of you collectively invented penicillin, from the telephone to airplanes, from the cotton gin to the microchip. We, the West, abolished slavery. We, the West, gave women the right to vote. We, the West, developed modern technology. You like being called the West then, but just bring up just one of your innumerable atrocities. And then everyone starts looking around. Who, me? Oh, you must have me mistaken for some other person, some other West. Shaggy. It wasn't me. My forefathers didn't own slaves. My forefathers didn't slaughter the Native Americans. My forefathers were just poor, innocent peasants. I have nothing to do with it. Innocent as can be. You want to take collective credit, but you want to individualize a man who killed more people in a matter of seconds than anyone in the history of the human race. And not to mention every American president after Truman, from the Korean War to Vietnam to the dirty wars in Central and South America to Panama, the first and second wars in Iraq, Somalia, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, and before Truman. I don't think that the United States has had a single decade in its history when it wasn't slaughtering some people somewhere in the world. These are all products of Western civilization too. But anytime these crimes get brought up, you deny collective responsibility. I mean, if I try to list all of your crimes, I can't even remember them all. But if I try to list just the ones that I can remember, your battery will die before I can even properly get started. You've got statues of Winston Churchill, who starved millions of Bengalis and who used poison gas on the Kurds. You not only don't condemn your terrorists, you not only don't try them for war crimes as they should be tried, you re-elect them into office. Not just elect them, re-elect them. And you deny any responsibility for their atrocities. No, if you want to be called the West, when it comes to any positive achievements, then you have to accept being called the West for all the full catalog of inhuman, vicious, genocide, murder, rape, torture, bigotry, exploitation, oppression, assassinations, coups and subjugation, evil and brutality, all that your people have ever committed. That's why I always say Western civilization is a sarcastic term, because you never civilized. And, you know, we made cool stuff is not a defense. Your approach to morality is, let's not be moral, but say we are. You think that righteousness is denying the evil you do, not stopping yourselves from doing the evil. As long as you say you don't do it, or you call it something else, then somehow you're not evil when you do evil, as long as you don't admit it. It's upside down world. Every day is backwards day in the West. Bad is good, wrong is right. It's no surprise that you think that a person should be called whatever pronoun they self-identify as, because that's what you've always believed. That's what you've always done. You self-identify as virtuous, as moral, as righteous, freedom-loving, tolerant people, even though you have never been that, and no one in the world sees you as that. But still you insist that that's what we call you. You insist that we deal with you as if that's what you are. You've always believed that the whole world should participate in your self-delusion. So of course you came up with this idea that a man should be called a woman and treated as a woman if he believes that that's what he is, or a woman a man. This isn't new with you. It's always been the way you believed. It's always been the way you functioned in the world, that you believed that you had the right to defy objective reality, and that your own victims had no right to define you. No matter what, you insist on your own blamelessness. And I'm telling you, how on earth do you expect to ever stop doing blameworthy things if you think that you are immune from blame no matter what you do? Yes, okay, your forefathers were probably poor peasants. I agree with you. They didn't participate in the crimes of the West. They didn't participate in colonization or imperialism. But then they also have no reason to take pride in the achievements of the West either, and neither do you. They were victims of the West in their own way, and so are you. If you want to disassociate yourself from the crimes, then disassociate yourself from the achievements, and realize that you and your forefathers and your ancestors were all abandoned and betrayed and duped by propaganda about Western civilization. No one ever cared about your development or your forefathers' development. No one ever cared about your welfare or your forefathers' welfare. No one ever cared about your upliftment or theirs. No one ever cared about your life. Not yours, not your forefathers, not your ancestors. And the West doesn't care about you now. But here you are defending it, like you have no self-esteem, like you have no pride. You and I both know the West doesn't care if you starve to death. They don't care if you get kicked out of your home and live on the streets. If you spend the rest of your life drowning in debt, they don't care. If you fry your brains on drugs, they don't care. And if you decide that life is too hard, they'll help you kill yourself. That's the West. And that's what the West thinks of you. The West didn't raise you right because you don't matter to the West. They don't care if you have knowledge. They don't care if you have an education. They'll pass you on up to the next grade, whether or not you can read or write, because you don't matter. Every day of your life, your civilization all around you is shouting at you in a million different voices that you don't matter. You're just a replaceable cog in the machine. Everyone in the West is regarded as disposable by the West, and still you defend it as the pinnacle of human refinement. You need to break that spell because you're living in a trance of propaganda that's all designed to keep you oblivious to your own humiliation. But then you'll get mad at me for trying to tell you to break that spell, to break that trance. You'll get mad at me because I'm trying to tell you that you need to stop being humiliated. You need to stop aligning yourself with the ones who are humiliating you. You need to stop aligning yourself with the ones that were humiliating your forefathers and that are humiliating you now. And you're going to get mad at me. But you don't disassociate yourself. I'm supposed to disassociate you from them, but you're not. Why should I disassociate you from the West when you don't do it yourself? I'm trying to tell you that you need to break the trance. I'm trying to tell you that you need to break out of the propaganda. You need to break out of the indoctrination. You need to break out of the programming. But you're going to get mad at me for telling you that. And you want to hold on to the programming. You want to hold on to the indoctrination. And then while you're holding on to it, I'm supposed to separate you from the indoctrination that you're holding on to. So how are you supposed to change?
The reason the church in Rome later became the head of all the churches of the world and dominated the Middle Ages was because it joined hands with Emperor Constantine. As a result of Constantine's pro-Christian policies, many people who believed pagan gods converted to Christianity. This consolidated Constantine's political position, and there was no need for the church in Rome to refuse the converts because it was a good opportunity to secure its religious position. After the church in Rome accepted pagan idolatry and doctrines, it was quickly secularized. During the Middle Ages, it was even hard to tell the difference between the church and the secular world. The Catholic Pope enthroned kings, and kings protected the Catholic Church. Opposing the Catholic Church itself was rebelling against one's own country. The Pope wielded an absolute power. We can see just how powerful he was through one incident, the humiliation at Canossa. That happened during the time of Pope Gregory VII. Pope Gregory VII claimed that the Pope could not be judged by anyone on earth, and he could dethrone emperors and kings, and excommunicated Henry IV, the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, in the course of the investiture controversy. As Henry IV was faced with the crisis of being dethroned, he went to the Pope who was in Canossa. Barefoot, he knelt for 3 days in the snow outside the castle of the Pope and begged for his forgiveness. This is what is called the humiliation at Canossa incident. The Pope had so much authority that there was no one who was able to hold back the church from abusing its power anywhere in Europe. Not only that, the popes committed numerous crimes such as murder, blasphemy, simony, and adultery to hold on to their seat of power. Popes. Among them, Pope Leo X enjoyed works of art and collected masterpieces. He invited artists like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and Raphael to the Vatican and richly ornamented the church. Being driven by his vanity, he constructed St. Peter's Basilica. However, as he ran out of money by collecting costly works of art, he started to print a greater amount of indulgences. An indulgence is a certificate giving the forgiveness of sins. The Catholic priest propagated that people were guaranteed to enter the kingdom of heaven safer when they gave more money.
Come, see for yourself. This is not just a simple indulgence. Even though you don't do confession, all your sins will be forgiven. Even the sins of your relatives in purgatory will vanish. Will you just leave your mother to suffer in the fire? Come here, everyone. Come. When you drop the coins in the box and it makes a clinking sound, then the souls will arise from the fiery purgatory.
The sale of indulgence was one of the biggest businesses of the Catholic Church. Since indulgences was a good solution for those who were seized by the fear of hell, numerous people gathered to buy the kingdom of heaven. Giotto, the representative artist during medieval Europe, clearly shows the evils of indulgence in his work. The Last Judgment. In the painting, Jesus, the judge, is in the middle and the apostles are on both sides. Heaven is shown on the right and hell is shown on the left. One thing that is worthy of notice here is the scene where souls are weighed. A man who is on his knees presents a model of the chapel to three women. The name of the man is Enrico Scorveni. He was a notorious loan shark of that time. Because loan sharking was a big sin, he could never dream of entering the kingdom of heaven. However, even though Enrico was a loan shark, he bought indulgences and paid for his sins, and proudly purchased the ticket for the kingdom of heaven. The Bible teaches that only God can forgive sins. However, the Catholic Church insists that the Pope too has the authority to forgive sins. This kind of false teaching enabled them to commit fraud, the sale of indulgences.
Indulgence. I want to look up that word, as it relates to the Catholic Church and how they make people pay indulgence to go to heaven. Yes? And we see it perpetuate itself right now in these churches, especially the televangelists, them. Meanwhile, them get themselves rich. Them congregations sit down in poverty, waiting to die to go to heaven. And them call it tithes now. Indulgence, them call it. You give money to forgive, make person or make Father forgive your sins, so that you will go and do it again and again and again and again. And him will get your money again and again and again and again. Indulgence, them call it. Look it up. Look it up. Because sometimes we talk people, that's why we play these things, you know. Because a whole heap of ones prefer to hear some foreign voice that say the things them when Muta say. Because they believe it more. And this will go on for years now. This will go on for years now. We say things and people say, where Muta get them foolishness from? But when them go there here, especially now, like how you have the thing named Wi-Fi and what them call it, YouTube and all these things, Instagram, them hear the information that come at them right in them bed and them living room. Serious thing. Listen. Listen and listen well.
That the earth is round. He was the first, however, in other exploits, namely genocide and the transatlantic slave trade. In 1492, Columbus discovered the Americas when he landed in Haiti and several islands in the Caribbean. The Arawak Indians inhabited these islands. For the second voyage to Haiti, the following year, 1493, Ferdinand and Isabella gave him the resources needed to subdue the population. When he returned to Haiti, Columbus demanded food, gold, and cotton thread, and was increasingly met with resistance. This resistance gave him the opportunity he needed to declare war on the Arawaks. With 20 hunting dogs, horses, and guns, Columbus set upon the Arawaks, tearing them up with dogs and mowing them down with volleys of bullets and running them over with horses. Reporting back to Queen Isabel of Spain, Columbus boasted, "In the name of the Holy Trinity, we can send from here all the slaves that Brazil will hold." The Spaniards hunted Indians for sport and murdered them for dog food. Columbus would reward his officers with women to rape. Girls 10 to 12 were especially desired for rape. Columbus and the Spanish won the war, and over 3 million Arawaks were killed in the genocide. They completely robbed the land of its gold. This is the truth about Columbus that's not recorded in your history books.
On the other hand, most Americans know today is Columbus Day, at least in 47 states, although Hawaii has renamed it Discoverers Day after the original Polynesians who populated that island thousands of years ago. South Dakota calls it Native American Day, and Alaska just ignores it like they kind of do everything. But what we're really celebrating today is Taino Genocide Day, the day when Christopher Columbus began to wipe out an entire indigenous population in a way that would even make Pol Pot blush. In 1492, Columbus was on a manic hunt for gold when he set sail and eventually landed on a small island off the coast of North and South America, an island today named Hispaniola, which is split between the nations of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. As Columbus wrote in a letter to the King and Queen of Spain, "Gold is most excellent. Gold constitutes treasure. And he who has it does all he wants in the world and can even lift souls up to paradise." But when he landed in what he called the New World, there wasn't much gold to be found. But he did find something he thought was just as good as gold: people who, in Columbus's mind, would make great slaves. So he wrote to the Spanish monarchs, "They are well built, with good bodies and handsome features. They do not bear arms and do not know them, for I showed them a sword, and they took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. They have no iron. Their spears are made of cane. They would make fine servants. With 50 men, we could subject them all and make them do whatever we want. And here there are so many of these slaves. Although they are living things, they are as good as gold. What Columbus did to the island and the tragedy he brought to the native population there has been largely erased by time, replaced by a glorified story of a bold explorer who set out to change the planet. In reality, though, as a result of what we've learned from writings by Christopher Columbus's own men, he raped, pillaged, enslaved, and slaughtered people just to get rich. Not exactly the type of guy worthy of a Main Street parade. One of Columbus's crewmen, Miguel Queno, described the scene when Columbus first arrived in Hispaniola for the second time, and thousands of Taínos, or what were referred to as Indians, came out to greet the ships. Queno wrote, "When our caravels were to leave for Spain, we gathered 1,600 male and female persons of these Indians. For those who remained, we let it be known to the Spaniards in the vicinity that anyone who wanted to take some of them could do so to the amount desired, which was done." Queno went on to write that he took his own sex slave, a beautiful teenage girl who, in his words, quote, resisted with all her strength, quote, end quote, leaving him no other choice but to, quote, thrash her mercilessly and rape her, end quote. And when Columbus's men did good work, Columbus routinely presented them with their very own sex slaves. But that was just the beginning. Columbus eventually started up a global child sex slave trade, exporting Indians all around the world. As he bragged to a friend in a letter written in 1500, 100 castellanos, as the Spanish coin, are as easily obtained for a woman as for a farm. And it is very general, and there are plenty of dealers who go about looking for girls. Those from 9 to 10 years old are now in demand. Eventually, under Columbus's orders, life for the Taíno on their homeland of Hispaniola became so bad that they resorted to mass suicide. As the Spanish missionary Pedro Cordoba noted in 1517, 25 years after Columbus arrived, as a result of the sufferings and hard labor they endured, the Indians choose and have chosen suicide. Occasionally, 100 have committed mass suicide. The women, exhausted by labor, have shunned conception and childbirth. Many, when pregnant, have taken something to abort and have aborted. Others, after delivery, have killed their children with their own hands so as not to leave them in such oppressive slavery. By the time Cordoba wrote those words, the indigenous population on Hispaniola had plummeted from roughly 3 million people before Columbus arrived to only 12,000 25 years later. A few decades after that, not one Taíno was left on the island. An entire culture and people completely wiped off the map and largely forgotten, thanks to Christopher Columbus.
Yes.
Happy Taíno Genocide Day.
Serious history. As we have said, we have played these things for your edification and for you to really sit down and think about it. The things them that you never get in the history class in your school. This is now almost 10 past 11. And to see that you can hear these things on the radio. No other radio is going to play these things. None. May I tell you that? Because this is how we designed this program here. To make the people them be aware of certain things. Certain things. And we're going to talk to this brethren. We're going to talk to Islam. Good afternoon, good night. Blessed.
Blessed greetings, Honorable Asmuta.
Aye, sir. Anyway, supposed to start from 11, you know, but we'll go through still. All right. So I was told about this event that will take place this weekend, huh? This weekend?
Yes, this weekend, Sunday 26th, starting at 12 o'clock.
All right, get the people them a run up about it. Yeah.
Greetings, honorable listeners. Thanks for the program, that's Muta. This is Honorable Chris Lamont, representing for the Rastafari Mansions and Organization. I am also the administrative representative for the Bobo Ashanti House on the Rastafari Mansions and Organization. I'm one of the representatives. Right here, I am the public relations officer for the Rastafari Mansions and Organization. And I'm here to talk about the Harambe Hall gathering that we're going to have at Salt Marsh on the 26th of January here at House of Seba, what's so-called Little Africa, Little Ethiopia rather. And the Harambe Hall features many different aspects of the Rastafari.
All right, tell people which part of the Harambe Hall there, which parish is there?
It's in Trelawney at Salt Marsh and Little Ethiopia, Trelawney. And it's going to be from 12 o'clock until about 10 o'clock in the night. It features a sacramental communion section where we will display our sacrament in its various form and quality that it is produced. Ones can come and get their idol or organic sacrament and full joy, a communal moment with the Rastafari family. Rastafari is invited from all around Jamaica or anywhere you are. We will also have, we're introducing a sacramental cup competition where farmers can bring their sacrament, also other agricultural produce. There's also the farmers market that will feature idol produce, organic produce, and also herbs and spices too that are organically produced by our farmers. And there will be a Raga report, so one can come to the Aramo Harambe Hall and learn about what Raga is doing. Raga is the sacramental committee of Aramo that deals with the sacramental issues. And one can come and learn of the happenings within the sacramental sphere from the Raga report. Ones are invited to come and share with the family. This is a space where all Rastafari are invited. It has no special credence. As long as you're Rastafari, you're invited to the Harambe Hall. And we are looking out for the youngsters, moving through Jamaica, hailing onto Rastafari. This is where you can come and learn something about the culture. Get yourselves, energized on the Rastafari liberty. Young brethren, young sistren, come to the Harambe Hall and get grounded with your Rastafari liberty. There'll be the advocacy committee talking about the advocating for Rastafari rights and bringing to the community what RMO has been doing and where we have reached with some of our advocation. We have a 10-point demandment that we have sent to the government. And these are demandments that are general to when it comes to Rastafari rights and some of what we are suffering and what we hope to achieve. There will be a report on gazetted success that we have made. You will hear about what is gazetted in the Jamaica Gazette concerning your Rastafari rights, and particularly as it relates to sacramental rights too. So there are so many things happening at the Harambe Hall that will surely interest you and intrigue you. There'll be chanting, drumming, a variety, a multiplicity of things, myriad of different things are happening. One can come and learn of how to get into the sacramental competition, how it will be dealt with, all the rules and protocols of the sacramental cup.
I can ask you, is this just a Rasta thing or it's for everybody?
It's a Rastafari oriented thing. But of course, as you know, Rastafari is love, and we always welcome everyone.
Okay, so I just want to know that, because it sounds to me like it's just a Rasta vibes where, you know, I mean, Rasta vibes, but like this is a closed door for Rasta.
Not restricted to Rastafari.
All right, hold on, let me take a break and come forward. I tell them some of the things that going to be held there this weekend, which is the 26th. Yeah, all right, hold on, just a minute.
Yes, give thanks, Honorable.
All right, tell me some of the things that are going to happen in the day, you know. Like you said, between 12 and 3, 12 and 9.
Yes, 12 and 9. We start off with, you know, chanting, displaying the different, you know, styles, Nyabingi chanting as it relates to the different mansions and organizations. You know, there'll be School of Vision, the Nyabingi drummers, of course, the Baba Shanti. You know, different groups will be displaying Nyabingi drumming and chanting. There is readily, as we start the setup of the craft market, there's a range of handicraft, you know, on display and for sale. There is a range of you know, different herbs and spices that are there. It's just a great market, you know, of things. Besides that, there is the town hall reasoning, where vital issues are discussed. And this is one of the vital parts, the main part of the Harambee Hall, because it's really to put forward information and to receive information from the community, so that what we do, we know that it is, you know, a broad consensus of what Rastafari, you know, really require and would like to see happen. So that is a very integral part of the Harambee Hall.
Yeah.
The reasoning, yes. There is, of course, you know, the sacramental communion, where that too is integral. You know, we people will see, ones will see, as I said earlier, the different, you know, quality of the sacrament, and we will learn too that those who want to be involved in producing sacramental ganja, because when we talk about sacrament, we're really talking about our ganja, which is our sacrament. And we aim to let one get a standard procedure of operation in terms of producing the sacrament. And
what do you mean? Come again. Where's the standard procedure? I mean, everybody must plant it and do it the same way?
Everybody must plant it, yes, because we talk about ITIL and we talk about organic. It's to be free from all kind of dangerous pesticides.
No. Hold on, Virgin. You say it must be standard.
Yes.
No, when you say standard, it means all the ganja them must be produced the same way.
As long as you are producing within the RMO RAGA framework. And that's why we have the competition.
So, you mean you mean for the DS program, not just ganja in general?
No, yes, for the program.
Okay.
For sacramental ganja that will be in the program.
Okay, all right, okay, yeah. Yeah, man.
So there's also, as I said, a RAGA report that will speak to these issues. So we are inviting, you know, ones to come and full, you know, participate in these things and learn. Yeah. There will be an advocacy report, a report from the advocacy committee, because there is something good happening with advocating for Rastafari rights, children to go to school without vaccination, children to go to school with their locks, people to go to work with their locks without being oppressed. You know, so these issues will be discussed, and ones will get information and where we have reached and where we're aiming concerning our advocacy for prevention against harassment as you move with your sacrament, you know, on your various movements. So ones will get update too on matters that have been gazetted as it relates to sacramental cultivation and events and so forth, exemption, stuff like that.
Okay, so that's This Saturday?
This Sunday, the 26th of January.
Oh, sorry. This Sunday, yeah, the 26th of January.
Salt Marsh Trelawney, Little Ethiopia, House of Sleeper.
Okay, and that's from 12 to 9 p.m.
12 to 9 p.m., I think, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, give thanks, Bridget. Give thanks.
You're welcome, Honorable Prophet.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yes, that is an event of different mansions of Rastafari House. RMO is presenting it. You know, I did make a call when the gathering was at, I think, Arana Williams Center the other day. I did make a call for ones-on-ones, do some clips, just like where we play upon the program, so now. Some clips, just thoughts about Rasta, philosophy of Rasta, history of Rasta, anything as it relates to Rasta, to be played on this program. Well, I don't see nobody answer me. I don't see nobody say, Muta, I have a clip I want to send to your email or so. So I still have it in mind still, and I'm still opening that door for any Rastafari group, individual who have something to say, a value, not just a settings. Not just a say. We are talking about a value where, just like how you hear we are playing these clips, so we are playing now. If you can make a 5 to 10 minute clip and send it to me email, you might hear it play. And when I guarantee you say, you must get it played. But we know say we want it to be a thing where Rasta out there who do have no microphone in front of them can have a voice also on this program. Because they're not going to do it nowhere else. For no other program in Jamaica. They're going to do it. So, we just want you to follow that. And for those of you who listen to it, including Twist Lamancha, will just talk to me. If you so desire, we'll call out to Kalamawe when we did that function. And the sister them, who call out to Nanny. Don't hear Nanny say nothing again. And one them that was in there, in the thing. I don't hear them say nothing again. But it don't mean that you never hear nothing. I give up and say, me can't bother with it. No. I feel it's very important at this time, yeah. For Rasta, who do have a microphone like me in front of them, but yet have a voice. And that is what we're offering. We're offering a voice to the Rastafari community. You know, to just, yes, say the thing and do the thing. We're not talking about music now. It's not music we are talking about. Because we have enough Rasta music right now to serve it forever and ever. We are talking about just settings. Okay. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. You know, we're supposed to have a guest. The guest. I tell she say why. She had the guest gone, asleep. But I realized that the guest out of nowhere, the guest just come forward. So we're going to put her on after these after the advertisement. So we could take the ad them and come forward. We have a guest in the studio, live and in living colors. Long time we do have a guest in the studio, you know. Yes, long time. Her name is Aisha Madamali Hope. And she's a teacher at Kingston College. And she has been a teacher in other places. Maybe she's going to tell you about it too. But the reason why she's here, she said she's on day off. But from she come here, it's pure work as she had up in school. So I don't know what kind of day off that. But I know she have some things to say, and I want she said what she have to say because we all complain about teachers nowadays that all the youth them are come out of school, some of them can't even read. What is happening in our schools that students are left school and can't read, can't do maths and nothing like that? First of all, you can't tell me why I look for it. So tell me why. Why so much people left school that can't read? Eh?
That's one of the things that was sort of annoying when people it often made it seem as if them coming out that way is the teacher fault. So yeah.
It's all right now? Yeah, all right.
Right, making it sound as if, is a teacher fault. And I think that one of the things that people need to remember is that children's education is not just one person or one set of people's responsibility. As them say, take a village to raise a child. And when the children going to school, they spend like 8 hours at school. So the teachers really only have about 8 hours to make any kind of influence or impact, and all of that time is not spent with the teachers either. It's also spent with their friends. And what the school and what teachers are supposed to do is build on what is happening at home. And so if the foundation for learning and the foundation for being productive is not set from home, it becomes an uphill battle for the teachers. Some of the times we can reach them and we can make a difference, but that needs to be remembered.
So what's supposed to be happening at home that your work can be easier when you talk about English, maths, and all these school things? What is it that's supposed to be happening at home first?
Well, first of all, the children need to have a sense that education is important. Not that why me bother go school when we can go scam. That's a big thing, easy money like that. That still literally is a thing for a lot of them when they say, all right, why am I need to do this? There's also the idea that they need to be cared for. They can't come to school hungry. And you expect them to learn. Them can't come to school tired because all manner of things that keep them up at night time when them they're home, whether it's from the community or within the family them. It's a whole, but it really comes down to more the attitude than anything else. So, that sense that education is important, that being instilled in them and ensuring that even if you don't understand what they're doing, even if you don't have the time, but they need to understand that this matters.
All right. We talk about home, and we are going to the home, and you say, like, maybe them don't have no food, maybe them want to go do scamming because the money easier. You see, say, from the beginning, the idea of education in Jamaica, it say, get a good education and you will get a good job to make money. So the idea of education, as I see it in Jamaica, is not to build the child as a person, but to see how you can fit into the society. We have workplace, not even entrepreneurs, because I don't even produce entrepreneurs, it produce workers, and more of the time is servants. So you don't think it start out that way why your job so hard, and not necessarily, well, I never move the parents them from it.
Yeah.
But there's a deeper thing going on in the
Right.
society.
Which is what I was saying. So it's not just one thing. Yeah. That is correct as well, because Jamaica's education system was not designed to create people who create and who own stuff. It's one plantation with upon. Plantation they hear on, and a plantation system it basically depends. So it's like you need to grab where you can grab. Education not necessary for grab where you can grab, because you can grab it and teeth it, you can grab it and do whatever. Yeah, because it's little bit of things the mindset is like it's a little bit of things is available to you. Because there's not very many in their ideas, there's not very many things available to you, and things are important according to what the society say. You want to get a big car, you want to get a big house like master. Yeah.
Like who?
Like the master.
Okay.
Plantation. The plantation.
Yeah.
So that is what they're aiming for.
All right. You think say all of the teachers them that teach qualified to teach that them can reach the level where you are talking about?
No. That's a very short, very easy answer. No.
So we'll go back to the teacher then.
Again, teachers come from the society, teachers come from the homes.
Yeah, like the police.
The police. All of them. Again, the home is the basic unit of the society. Yes? And it is influenced by the home. It's, I guess, a chicken or the egg. Is it the home that is influenced by the society, or is it the society that is influencing the home?
The man will eat the chicken and the egg. That's influence the whole thing.
There you go. Yeah. So no, because there's the mindset. There is where do you want to go, and when you talk about qualifications, as I said, we're not necessarily talking about if them they go to school and get a degree. A mindset. Are you in a frame of mind where you are going to be taking the nation's children from being slaves to being masters of themselves? And you can convey to somebody the best way to be a master of themselves if you don't master yourself, and all you're thinking about is, oh, all right, so I go to school from this time to that time, and then we need to have a little hustle and
for the side too.
And we need to sort out that, and then, oh, but we can't get nothing here, so all right, this can't help me, I'm going to do something else.
May I say that I don't ever want to blame, but I have seen say how the system set up, the family, the teacher, and the youth get caught in that web of confusion. At the beginning, it's everything what you say fit into the system that allow and perpetuate these craziness that are going on. So we need to really farm the system and create something. But which teacher brave enough to take the student on a different path? I don't think you'll do that.
You have some of them out there. You have some of them out there that make an effort. Because again, it comes down to, are you just going in there because I have a job and you're going to deliver some content, or are you going in there to educate them? And when you think about it, it's like one of the things that for the teachers that I know, who, when you're reasoning with them and trying to make a difference, one of the things that we tend to hold on to is if we can reach one, then at least it make a difference. And sometimes we reach more than one, and them come out and their mindset change, them working on a different path.
I mean, this is when you talk, when you get to know the teacher them.
You mean as in me or with the student?
No, you as a teacher.
Yeah.
No matter about you as a teacher relating to our next teacher,
Oh,
yeah. And how the teacher, is the teacher able to move from the society where we are talking about and continue a journey towards the student and not fit into the society that is creating the problem. You understand what I say?
Or more trying to work through the system. Because the only other way for that, to actually really truly happen is to create a whole other system. Independent of what is happening now.
So you can't maneuver yourself in the system. Because some people say, like they say, boy, Muta, why you not going to be a politician, man, and run an election? And I say, I couldn't really go join JLP or PNP because the two to me are the same system. So you have to go create your own system within the system to understand what you want to do, to revolutionize the system. So what may I ask is that within the system as it is now, is there any possibility of, even though the system is what it is now, that some teachers could rise up in that system and revolutionize it, or they could have to go really throw it, vamp it totally, or just, start a new school, kind of school?
That would be the most, in terms of to see an actual, like immediate, for there to be like an immediate change, that really is literally what it would require. And not just, because, and I'm thinking back to when I was growing up, and Ras Emo them, and Brother Miguel them, and that whole movement that was trying to do that separate education thing along our separate lines, but I guess it comes down to it being a solid enough support for it to be continuous.
Because sometimes it starts out good, but because support not there.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you a question now. You become an international teacher. I must say, about that. By the way, this is my daughter talking to, for those who don't know. You have become an international teacher. You have been teaching in Belize. You have been teaching in England. You have been teaching in Jamaica. Now you're back in Jamaica. What is the difference with the teachers, not the students? We still come to the student. But what is the difference between the teachers, for instance, in a Belize, as opposed to in England and Jamaica? What's the difference? The three places that you teach in, the three different countries. Where you find the difference is in teaching?
I think from a teacher perspective, I would say one of the biggest difference is the class sizes.
What?
Class sizes. In terms of being able to teach. So Belize is twice the size of Jamaica, but their population is like 400,000 people.
We have 3 million.
Yeah, and half as much land. And what that causes is like, I remember one of the times when I went to KC, when I did just go KC, I remember one of my first exam, grade 11 classes, I had like 50 odd students in the class.
In a KC?
Yeah.
You teach 50 odd students?
Yeah, CXC class, not just regular class. Yeah, 50 odd students in the class. And that class, like literally almost every day, the class, if any day when the whole of them come at school, the classroom will overflow. Yeah? And that's a one teacher. You don't have no teaching aid or anything like that. So it's just you one with the 50 odd picking them. And that is not an uncommon occurrence. At the primary school, that is almost standard. Yeah? So
that is like going in a high school too? I go to primary school then?
No. I'm saying in the high school. In the high school, on average, the class sizes are between, if you're like between like 35, anywhere between 35 and 45.
That's how in a Jamaica.
Yes, like now, the class size that when I deal with now is the smallest class, so that'll be like 40.
You teach 40 people every day?
Me personally, no.
No.
Me personally, no, and that's because of the program with KC. I try run because I mean I maths me teach, but like for the maths they them try cut down class because Ministry of Education will tell you that the student to teacher ratio at the high school level is supposed to be 25-1. Yeah, but one of the problems that the school them have is every year the ministry are sending more and more students to the school them, and the school space them now getting no bigger.
Yeah, the teacher them now get no more teacher.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of it. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm not going there, so but yeah, that is
all right. So now in a Belize,
so like on average the class sizes were like 20. So like when my son was there, because he was going to start, and he didn't like it there because a technical school and I'm handling him my deal with and everything like that. But the subjects he was doing well in was like agriculture. And them subject that him and art, and that him getting 90s and 80s. Everything else are like 20%, 30%. He went to Belize, and for me that was one of the biggest things then. Him go Belize and him drop in a class where I think I like about 16 or 17.
Oh yeah?
Students in class. Yeah? And him start top the class. Him top the class, him start the cooking, him start excelling at that, and the whole of that take off, like in grades them went up. So apart from the teaching part of it, it makes it easier for the teacher to be able to reach each of the students, not just the students, but to reach individual students.
You remember them name?
You can remember all of them name, first and last name, as opposed to just last name. And you can remember them. It's easier to do that. It's easier to identify the issues that they're having and to be able to meet them at that level.
Yeah.
It poses different challenges, obviously, because that Belize is a bilingual country. So, that's the next set of things that, that make you have to adapt, being in an international space. But, so those sorts of things, because in general, education, they will tell you, differentiated instruction, catering to the students' needs, student-centered learning. When you have 50 odd picnic in front of you, 40 odd picnic in front of you, it's kind of hard to differentiate if you cannot identify what it is. One of the other things with Belize too is them always say that when Jamaicans go places, them excel. And part of it is Jamaicans, I'm gonna say it again. Yeah, the slave mentality in terms of say you need to get up before the crack of dawn to start work, and in a headspace, you're not supposed to don't work so till the sun go down, and you have to fill in as much work in them hours there as you possibly can. It literally translates to what Jamaicans do when they go elsewhere, where it's not as rigid and you do there's not that greater requirement for your time and your energy. Yeah. So like Belize was not a plantation state. Yeah. It was owned by the Spanish and then the British did thief it. The British thief it. They never get independence really till the 80s. But like the black community that is there, the Garifuna them, they were never slaves.
Indigenous people.
Yes. So them that kind of mentality, it's up there. In one aspect it's a plus, in another aspect it's not necessarily when it comes on to education and their attitude towards education. It's kind of similar. And to be honest, it was also similar in England. So when we're talking about...
in England, you have the same amount of the England population going to the class.
My England classes were about the same as Belize on average.
Okay.
But for some reason, they kept giving me big classes. So I had like 30. So like they have the seats in the...
You have 30 in England?
Yeah, like 2 of my classes, I had 30 students.
They come back to Jamaica, they're coming back to Jamaica.
But the thing with that though, is even though I had 30 in there, once they've identified that a student has learning challenges, learning difficulties or whatever, there were teaching assistants there.
Okay.
So I was not like the only adult in there. So like when I was teaching at Meadowbrook and I had the 2 blind students in my class, I mean, same.
You just remember saying a teacher Meadowbrook too, you know. You're a traveling teacher, man. Gypsy.
I mean, one did have to deal with them. When I got to England, I had a blind student in my class too. I knew how to deal with him because I had the experience of dealing with him. But like the resources that were there, you know, it was a little bit more was available, and he had a dedicated teaching assistant for him. Yeah, there were other children with disabilities. The school that I was at was one of those schools where they try not to segregate as much as possible. So when Jamaica would have School of Hope, where children with disabilities and stuff would have gone, there are not very many schools like that there, but they have different sections for them. So they try to integrate them. Yeah, I had 2 what I'm called SCN classes, that's special education need. So I had 2 classes like that. Those classes, I had like 10 students in there.
Yeah, so in the class now, you have black and white student or just pure black student in the class?
No, not at all. All right, so this is England or Belize we're talking about now. So,
no, England was there.
Oh, okay, because Belize did have them mixed with them.
Multiracial.
With them Spanish and them Mayan and them Garifuna and them Creole. And all of that mixed in there. So there was that. And there was, that did pose some in terms of racial issues and stuff like that occasionally. Not as great. England was like literally more of a melting pot. Like when Miss Lou did say it's in a full effect. Colonization in reverse.
Jamaica colonized in reverse.
But and not just Jamaica alone.
Yeah.
Like
Nigerian.
Everywhere where England did colonize. Yeah, take me from there. Indian them did it. Yeah.
And them find in your class.
Yeah, man. They had the Indian them them not say Indian because they were Pakistani as well, and they do make that very clear distinction.
But are the same people, but are the British
Asians. So they're Asians. Let's call them Asians.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a 12 o'clock break, yeah. Yes, 12 o'clock break.
Brothers and sisters.
I must call her international teacher, you know. She has been to different countries teaching in different places. And it kind of, to me, kind of cute because, well, the Belize situation with the Garifuna them is one of the most profound thing to me, in that the Europeans them go there, but the Garifuna them still there. It's not like Jamaica where you hardly see no Arawak. Or what them call them Taino. You hardly see them, right? When you go to Belize, I actually go Belize and go upon all the pyramid them along there, with the temple them and all them something there. And then you can say Africans, distinct Africans, what we call Caribbean Africans, and mixed culture, mixed race of people. So that is one thing. Well, we know about England, where I just said, England like a melting pot of different people. So for actually get that opportunity for teach the different kind of people, what I want to ask you is this. All right, we know how Jamaicans stay in terms of the teaching. We talk about how Jamaican youth them kind of behave a certain way, more unruly and thing. And them say Jamaicans, no, who out of the 3 different places, why you find the unruly people them there?
You know, it's when I'm doing my interviews, different interviews for the jobs and stuff when I go, is one of the things that I've found is literally the children are the same wherever you go, like literally they are the same in terms of you have students who misbehave, you have students who behave, you have students who with the work. You
Yeah.
have students who do the work. You will have students who come from homes where all them know is them talk to people anyway they want to talk to people.
Yeah.
And like any one of the cultures, you have the students them where mix up in a badness,
Gang business.
gang related badness and whatever. You will have occasionally you will hear say, oh, a student dead because of violence or whatever. Yeah, like literally in all of those, I've heard of that happening. Yeah, so it literally is that the children will operate as children. Yeah, and it's literally for you to be able to reach them at the level where them there, to bring them to a higher place. Not necessarily where you might want them to go, but like one of the things I keep telling my students, the same thing I tell my children, that every day you're supposed to in a competition with yourself, nobody else but yourself. So you're supposed to be trying to be better each day.
That's why I ask if you use a formula, if there's a formula you use for the different society them. Belize, England, Jamaica, I just do the same thing everywhere.
Yeah, because more or less, I mean, it is the same approach. It's just the what you draw on is slightly different. Yeah, and I think
what you draw upon?
I draw on how my daddy grew me.
Oh, your daddy grew you?
So
you put me like to let me hear how your daddy grew you.
So I grew up international.
Okay.
Right. So from a very early age, I was traveling.
You was touring with me all over the world.
And I think one of the things that put in my head is literally, as me say, everybody in the world are just basically human beings with the same basic needs. It's just how the context in which it is. So if you're cold, as opposed to you're there on a tropical island, or you're there in a very hotter tropical continent, yet you're still a human being. You still want better for yourself. You still want better for the people around you. You still have to work towards that. And so being able to travel, it allows you a different perspective when it comes on to dealing with people. You know, people who have never left the community where them living on. I mean, even if you say you have people where born and grew at Kingston and never left Kingston yet. Never got St. Thomas yet.
There are some people in Kingston never said life foul it.
True. Or cold.
Yeah, them never say them.
Yeah. So being able to expose, and reading is another thing as well. You know, reading, I like reading. So
you take that off of my mother.
Yes, I did actually.
Yeah, you take that off of my mother.
And so when you read, when you are exposed, when you get to travel, you can better empathize with different persons from different cultures. So you're not automatically skin up your face upon somebody who have on a hijab.
If you see somebody I eat certain things.
Or because like literally me in the class and like student them talk about them hungry or whatever, and we are talking about where I eat, and we are talking about couscous and whatever. And you know, so if you're there in Jamaica, you tell somebody, well, back in even now too, you say I eat couscous, I want that perfume.
Well, couscous or perfume.
Yeah. But like, you know, you're having those connections, and now also with the internet and everything like that, people are more open, more exposed. But there's nothing beats that first-hand experience of actually interacting the people, with the people in the different spaces. You know, so that literally is what I bring to my students and expose them. Say, look, this is not out of your reach, right? If you have coming to school, going to school, participating in school is about giving yourself option. It's not about learning how to use if you can use Pythagoras' theorem. Or knowing that E = MC squared. That's literally not truly what it is supposed to be about. Yeah? But over assessment and all of these things where pressure teacher pressure students within the classroom, it makes it difficult for them to accept and realize that it's about choices.
Yeah.
So when you leave school, you're supposed to have the choice to say, if I want to become a garbage truck collector, apart from a garbage truck, right? I'm supposed to, because I want to do that. Yeah? Because there's fulfillment. Yeah, you can get fulfillment out of that. Yeah? But if it is that I want to own a sanitation engineering company,
own the garbage truck, right?
Then I'm supposed to can do that if I want.
Yeah.
Not because I don't want my students to end up being somewhere because that's the only option them have in a life. They're not supposed to turn a politician because are the easiest route to get a little change and then to move up and to rub up some money.
These are the original people.
And your skills supposed to can use your elocution skills and your thinking skills and your scheming skills, coming up with plans. It's supposed to be that you're using them to help other people, to help the people around you. And because this is one of the options that I choose. That is what it comes to. So the international thing, knowing that you can go out there. There are options out there. Leave out of Jamaica. You can go Ukraine and fix whatever is happening up there. You can end up go Russia and fix whatever is happening there. You can go America and fix what is happening there. You can stay in Jamaica and fix what is happening here.
Nowadays, people we have to go stay and fix what is happening here. Beat up Papa, we are going to America. Because all people realize that them really have to go do a thing back in America, even though them did run left it. You have to be like the army of one.
Yep.
You have to be like an army of one.
Yep. Discipline yourself.
I mean, you have the experience of Belize, England, Jamaica. I don't know where you have to next. But that is a... Given that you all toured the world already, so in your younger days, people I want to know, say this woman sitting in front of me. When I was 50.
It's actually 30, but okay.
What?
It's actually 30, but okay. So I know where you're going with this.
She said, to me, I said, a youth like me. She said, Daddy, you're old. And now I live to see if you're picking them until I say she old. and she don't reach 50 yet. So it was so it go. But putting that aside though. All right. As I call you a young teacher. And you have some big youth in your class, I assume. You find, say, well, look at how the 3 different countries them now. You find, say, the youth them in Jamaica more feisty with your teacher or England or Belize. Which one of the youth them kind of resist more? Which one of the youth them resist more? Authority, I should I say. Because you that them will look at you as an authority. Which one of them, out of the 3 different students, them resist authority in the class more? And why you think that is happening?
I don't know that there's much of a difference.
You don't know
in terms of to say which set of students resist authority more. In a Jamaican Belize, there is a greater sense that in terms of say we can tell a people shut your mouth. Yeah? And all right. Or stop going like you're idiots. In England, there's greater restriction on what you can say.
To the student?
To the student.
So you can't tell the student shut your mouth?
Yeah, no.
Or come out of the class?
Yeah, no.
Why not?
That's
They're going to report you.
Yeah, literally. You know, yeah. So it's more that than anything else. Like the students in England, I would say it's not, and again, because I really don't have that much of an issue with students. What was resisting authority? Is that what you said? I don't personally don't have that much of an issue. May your other teacher have this issue, but I don't really have that much of an issue when it comes on to that. And I suppose part of it comes down to how you deal with them.
Well, say how you deal with them?
Since treat them like people as opposed to something below you. There are teachers who, because them a picnic, then all right, me above you, so therefore. So that's a part of it. Treating them as a human being, you know, say, what you don't want for yourself, don't do it to our next person.
Yeah.
But I would say England in the sense that there is a greater I suppose it's really not a bad thing when you look at it though, but there's a greater sense of accountability and them quicker to take the picking them word
than the
teacher word in terms of if something for happen. And so the students there, you have some of them where them know that that's the case. And so literally you will have more instances of students saying that this happened when and
them use it against the teacher.
Yeah.
And them know the law they say them them will get the right.
Right. But when you say in terms of, as I said, against authority, I mean, I personally don't have that much of an issue with that.
So the students them don't come from the same kind of family.
No.
Like broken family, as like Jamaica, like Belize, like England. Them don't have the same pity them with them family.
They exist.
Them need some family guidance. I don't know.
Yeah, they exist. But is it like
you see why I ask you that question then is that the first thing we start out with is how the
family
what the family have to do with how the students were acting at school. You know, and we shall say the family, sometimes the teacher, we talk about the teacher relationship with the student, and the teacher and the student relationship with the society. So what we have now is that England, as our colonial masters, the relationship, you say, is that in that part of the world, the student is more recognized on the right of way than the teacher. If the student can put up something and say, she tell me this, then would I more want to believe the teacher. In a Belize, it's like Jamaica.
Right.
If you talk to the student, you can't tell them to leave the class or something like that, right? All right, so we reach a stage now where the society, the teacher, or the student, or we can say the society, the student, or the teacher. Because basically what we are finding now is that the society, when I say society, I mean the system will blame the teacher for not bringing up the grades of the student. Because that's what happened in Jamaica, them do. In Jamaica. Them say, boy, what kind of teacher they are them school there, Rasta?
The metric is the issue.
Eh?
The metric is the issue. What are you using to measure whether the teacher did a good job or not?
Well, I don't know how they measure it, but that is what them say.
Because it's the grades them use. Literally, it's the grades them use. This is something that you hear it talk about. When they're at Teachers College, you hear them talk about it, but it is not put into actual practice, because at the end of the day, society is going to tell you that It's the numbers that count. How much money you have, how much grades you have, how much degree you have, what is the quality of your degree. And there's not much consideration for how much improvement has been made. Right? And so that is also one of the differences between, for me, with the England system and the Jamaican system. And in that, coming back this time is when I'm just seeing some attempt at looking at
Since you come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
At progress. Them talk about it, mention it, but when it come on to sharing that information in public, it is still not looking at that. Now, granted, if you go from a 70% pass rate to a 60% pass rate, obviously that is a decline. One of the things that you also need to consider is, are they under the same influences and the same impact from one cohort to the next? Yes? What you're also looking at, should be looking at, as far as I see it, is if a student come in and the student cannot read at all, which should not be the case, but it so happen that is so them coming in. And when them finish, them can finish read off a grade 2 book. It means you make an improvement. There has been learning has taken place. It may not be the level of learning where them said the student's supposed to be at, but who influenced that? Who impacted that? Is that the teacher? How? Which teacher? How is that going about? And I think that is not being recognized as much, because by and large, right, the schools where the pick them don't come in with 90% already, 90%, them done at a particular level. So yeah, you're supposed to look to see if them go down, but the improvement is what needs to be tracked. Yeah, how the teacher interact also. So the students' attitude towards learning is something that is a little bit more difficult to monitor and track, but you also want to consider that, are you influencing the student to become an independent learner? Because I'm talking about that wholly, that nobody actually ever teaches you at teacher's college how to teach independent learning. Like literally, as something you have to figure out as a teacher and figure out how to impart that to your students. You know, because what you want is, like, if no teacher is there, what is the attitude in your class? If something happens and the teacher can't do that, will the students in your class settle and continue to learn? Will they independently go out and say, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be learning. What are the avenues for my learning? Right? I mean, I tell my students all the while, let YouTube be your friend. YouTube is not just for music and entertainment and whatever. Anything where you want to learn, literally you can go look on YouTube and go watch.
Greater than the human brain.
Yeah.
As it relates to information.
As it relates to a repository of information. Like literally you can go in there and access it. Yeah. And that is something that I have to teach. Well, I don't have to, but it's something that I choose to teach my students. How to use a YouTube video to learn. It's not just sit down and watch.
Oh, you do that? That's beautiful. Because I always said it's part of the program.
What?
The same thing that the iPhone and the computer, the memory in there is more than what a human being can.
Yeah, man.
Do. So you need to use it.
Pause it. You can
that's why sometimes when I say something, I say, go and go look for your YouTube and find it. Don't expect me to go tell you the whole thing.
Or Google it.
Yeah, because I put something to you and you want me to tell you the answer to the thing.
Oh, yeah, no?
You must go to the world.
And that is something that that my students get upset with me all the time about too.
Because you left it to them to do it.
And I'm not going to say to you, yes, do you think you are correct? Did you do it correct? Did you do what was supposed to be done? What you did, will it work all the time? And I know, like, some students get frustrated with that because and it's one of the things that when you talk about stifling creativity, like teachers will do that too. Like even in the maths classroom, right? All right, so you're supposed to add that first, then divide that, then do that. But at the same time, is there another way that it can be done?
Yeah, I could take a time break. Yeah.
Did you know?
Cutting edge, so. All right. I should I take some call, to see if anybody want.
All right, Muta.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, say, I kind of want to jump into the argument a little bit and see if I can say two things in regard to all that we are talking about with Aishi.
Of course.
All right. So, one of the first things where I want to mention, and may I kind of go a little way back. In 1962, as we did know, say, Jamaica gained them independence, them time, the thing. So, we have what we call, over the years, different governments do different things, and after a while, them come up with this commission and investigation and whatever. So, in our history, we have a commission which was put forward from back in the early 1970s, the De Costa Commission. And the commission, it was to look at some things where it go on from the early part of the 1960s, just after we get independence. And it was focusing on, in other time then, like about 1963, so Jamaica get a loan from the World Bank of like about some $10 million at the time. And that loan was supposed to be used for build up the school infrastructure, build new schools and all of them things there across the country, with the aim and the intent that by building these schools, secondary schools, you would be able now to improve the education of the young upcoming population in this newly independent country, with the whole idea that building that intelligence and that workforce now are going to propel the country onto greatness. And that commission now was looking upon the whole thing of how that money was thwarted, and them they just basically thief up the money. And fingers were pointed to Mr. Burt, as the man in the ministry at the time who, him was the main man where they do them thing there. So that in itself, I figure say, is a big point, meaning say we start off on the wrong foot, because when we education system should have been built to the point now where we could have been a force in the Caribbean and in the world. The politician them undermine that, and so we start off on a wrong footing.
Where's about that? Well, maybe you're too young to know about that.
Yeah, and so I want to go on now from this. So I just did mention that first. But somehow what Aisha said, no, I want to agree with her in a whole lot of what she said. In terms of when you ask her about the teachers and the interaction with the students and all of them thing there, So how them go about them teaching. And may I say these things now because may I kind of get a little bit more insight into teaching in a little bit, not because me in it, but me close to somebody now who involved in it. And so you find now that the thrust from the teachers' colleges and the people who are train these young teachers is now what them call a blended approach, with the whole idea of like, you have different youths in our class and all of them have different varying backgrounds, different levels of understanding and whatever. So how you get across now this lesson to them that all of them are going to understand. So you have in the class a youth who can read well, and you have a next youth who might not read so well, but him draw good. So now the challenge is for the teachers now to try to get out of the student. So them a change their approach. Instead of where now you are trying to put in at the student head and teach the student based off a curriculum. You still follow the curriculum, But the thing now is for try to get out of the student what them have inside of them.
Yeah.
Yes, so that them can. So you see, the question now have to be put to the children and posed in such a way that you see the youth can write a good poem, maybe him write a good poem to express himself. The next youth maybe can write the poem, but him can recite the poem in such a way, a compelling way, that when him recite it, you get the meaning of where the person who did write it are try to express. So that is the thrust of where them are try to bring teaching to, that each student learn at different levels and express themselves in a different levels. Just like what Aishida say, you know, in terms of like, you have the student know where like some student are go in the field of, say, the example we should use like for the garbage truck and thing. You might have a student where him good at
own the garbage truck.
Yeah, and then you have the other student now who want to get into the business aspect of it for own the garbage truck, you know. So you bring out the different aspects out of the students them.
But one of the issues with that, because this differentiated instruction is not new coming out of teachers' colleges.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not anything new coming out of instruction and instructional design and stuff like that. One of the main issues that I have with it, and from the moment I went to teachers' college, it is something that I questioned and push back on, is that you can't tell the teachers or instruct the teachers that they are to teach differentiated instructions, teach differently, but yet still, when you're going to assess the students, all of them are going to be assessed the same way. And what they call it is alternative methods of assessment. And the reality of the situation is that education system anywhere, there is not a great emphasis on testing in alternative ways. There's this meme that
one standard
picture that
test.
you will see where
yes.
you're gonna get a test, and the test is that you need to be able to climb the tree, and you have an elephant, you have a monkey, you have a fish in a bowl, right? And that is part of with the whole system thing. Systematically, you can't be saying that yes, we acknowledge that there are students who learn by doing, and there are students who learn by this, but then if a teacher is trying to do alternative assessment, they're still being told that no, them can't do that. No, because the students still at the end of the day, the benchmark what they're going to use in Jamaica is CXC. In England is GCSE. Them still are going to do the same exam. Yes? And yes, they do make facilitations for students who need extra time but who need a scribe or whatever. But like, you can't look on a student, an art student, for example, who doing a bio paper, and the instruction is to draw a skeleton. And when the student go draw the skeleton draw, labeled accurately and everything. But the child drew the skeleton in motion, like the skeleton was dancing, right? So it never the same stiff one like that. I ever tell the picnic, say them have to do it over, right? That whole aspect of it is like literally still a challenge. And the time also, when the Jamaican schools are, by and large, the students are over-assessed. Okay? Like them get tests during class, them get tests thing there, them get tests in the middle of the term, them get tests at the end of the term, and it's not just that you're saying, okay, you're testing them as purely formative to see what they have learned to fix it. You literally don't have the time to fix it. You literally don't have the time to fix it as a whole. You have to put things in place to try for hope say them learn how to learn independently. That once them get this number grade, there's not much opportunity to change the grade within the same thing. Because at the end of the year, they're going to get a grade where say them GPA at 2 point odd, because at the beginning of the school year, them that go through where they go on or them yarn and them couldn't get for study, them couldn't get for come to school pan time, and them that fear duck out, or them that fear try to go from yard to yard. And so them grades in the first term, there was like in the 20s. And not because them can't learn, but then that's going to affect whatever else them want to do. And nobody now going to ask what were the factors that caused the student to do that. Yeah, the teacher might ask,
everybody
administration might ask. Maybe the guidance counselor, if the guidance counselor catch up on it, might ask, but society now go ask. Society now take into consideration.
Very good
yes,
point.
Man. And
like inspector just come on my school, yeah, and because I'm responsible for the data down there, and we're looking at tracking the students in there. And literally, when you're looking on the set we graduate last year, 2024, then in the middle of the pandemic, at the online class, now I get figure class, now I get figure school. And I think when the government is talking about how the pass rate drop, the national average pass rate drop, I think for maths must drop down to 16 or 18% or something like that. Yeah? I think, yeah, it's bad. I'm not saying it no bad. Nobody at dispute say it bad.
But there's an underlying thing I go on.
Them now push the part out there. You will hear them in some little corner say, oh, we need to what were the mitigating things that we did to combat the effects of the pandemic. But nothing practical was done. They never build no extra spaces. They never do no major pull out for students who didn't miss school because they never have no device. Oh,
no Wi-Fi, no there.
The whole social inequity.
Nothing was done. We didn't just expect those children to drop back up and continue. Once you come back to school, to drop back and continue. And then you have people who are tell the people them say, oh, you can't do this or oh, you never do that. But why? Why was that happening?
I wonder if anybody out there wants to say something in this conversation. Because the program's so done, you know. So if you have anything to say.
All right. So I just make one more point before we start taking the call them Muta. So just as we mentioning that here now and where Aisha talk about
Aisha, my
and as me I say, and as me I say about like the whole social inequity and all of them things So part of that now too have to do with the schools them and areas where schools there and all of that because it was mentioned before, like you have the school them now who are top school them and all these things and them do and them students are do well and you find that these are the schools now where have great past student associations associated with them.
Traditional school them
schools. But then you have the other schools them now where they're in a certain areas when I get the support as much as them should. And so you find that for them students and the environment where the for them students are come from now lend to a different behavior. Yeah, man. So that is a whole thing another thing too. Meaning say for me, I find it strange and weird when like even when me there now down on the North Coast you have in my vicinity 1, 2, 3 high schools in like about a 15-minute driving distance from where me there. But then you have people in my area now who sell them picnic go school all the way up at Brownstown or all the way at Highgate because them school they are the traditional
name
brand school them, which is more than an hour away from where we live. Yeah, man, and I find that wrong. Meaning, say students will go school in the area where them live, and so the government need to make sure say them student there. Them school they up to the point and up to the par and up to the level that parents have to go through them inequity there. 3-4 bus fare for one picnic.
As a systemic issue, when it comes onto equity in education, one of the things is if you acknowledge that you're using an entrance exam, what them call PEP, it become PEP now. If you have to say that if a student get a particular grade, then they will be placed at that school. The reality of the situation is that what should happen is students who get in the lower end of the grades, whatever schools they are going to, the reality of the situation is that the government is supposed to be pushing more resources to those schools. So when the ministry says that, they have maths coaches and they have literacy experts and stuff like that, and them say that they have these things in place, but they're not utilizing them properly. So if you say, all right, you have a maths coach for this cluster of schools, it means that them supposed to go in at the school them and help out, where instead of still have the 50 are picking them in the class, or the 40 are picking them in the class. Yeah? Them supposed to be pushing more resources in there, more people in there. People at the special at Michael and special at the different school and can't get working in Jamaica. Because the government now pay them for them specialization. When it's not that it's not needed, it is needed. But them not putting them in there as that social. A reading specialist are going to school and end up having to teach English because the school don't have a position for them in that capacity.
It's more than needed because, as you say, when you have like 50 students in a class and one teacher, no assistant, and all of that administration have to be done in terms of like all when exam time come around and you have to mark grades and do papers and comments for parents, report and all of them. And one teacher.
Yeah. I wonder if this is why you came to stay with me and I see you're doing peer classwork in the place.
Yes.
So why you come and stay with me? Why you just go to school?
No, I noticed that I slept as well.
No,
the plan was to sleep.
I thought you was on holiday 2 day holiday.
See, because that is not even holiday. The thing is when you have.
Well, I could take this call. Yes, hello.
Hello, Bridget.
Yeah, blessed man.
Yeah, man. You see the money what the Bridget talk about there. Yeah.
Which money?
Brother.
The money from the 60s and the 60s.
Yeah, at the 21 rich family, them when get the money there, you know.
Oh, yeah?
They when come to build the school. Yeah, the same 21 family I run Jamaica all now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, we hear you.
Yeah, man. So they will get you back in 10. They will get you in 10 to give back to the politician at the time, the prime minister, when they run election, instead of build the school them.
Okay.
So I know they have the money sit down for and you have no from them time they win at the debt.
So you think say from 63 till now, them still have the money that sit down? Them not build a hotel with it?
Them build more hotel with that, man.
Okay, well, them not sit down with it then.
Yeah, at the same thing where we in that debt problem, you know, because the money never pay back, you know. Not even the interest in the pay money.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, sir. Yeah, man, give thanks.
Yeah. And you want no, I see someone talk about Marcus, but we'll call it for tomorrow program.
Yeah, we now work with that today. We have something to deal with that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Our person will talk about that tomorrow, all right?
Yeah, so tomorrow, like I said, I said that program is a different program, so tomorrow
definitely. All right, all right, give thanks, Virgin.
We'd like this, we'd like that.
In the name of the King Emperor, Selassie the First, you don't know, you run all things.
Blessed man.
Now, here I was, you know, $3 trillion. The doctor, where they are the Minister of Finance, the doctor, where they are the Minister of Education, upon the whole cost of the matter. Education is one of the most money we're missing. Health department money we're missing. That's not the budget with them. No, gone, but it can't be.
$3 trillion.
Oh, yeah, $3 trillion. And that may I tell you, say.
Yeah, man, and them say. No, and them say, them admit it.
Then that may I tell you, so I go on, you know, see the people in the street, where I go on, them start put the things them together, the equation together, and so it work. Sociological factors in Jamaica is the environment is not conducive to good learning. You see me, I say, so the youth, them not really structure their mind because them have too much other things that go on around factors where I distract the brain from doing. So the government, again, the doctor, them, we are run the place to wake up to what go on. You know, see, Andrew and the crew, all of them, Dr. Chang, all of them to wake up and see what go on and take the people in seriously. Because we can't afford this what go on, you know, because when they matter about 37% for certain subject matter, maximum say they are 37% or whatever it did. We not go low that. We not go low that. Like me tell you otherwise, so Rastafari come to liberate the people, you know. That are the original Naya being the hard Rastafari, you know, liberation movement, you know. So we have to stay up on the conquest of this, you know. So we want the people to know that. Doctors in the government order pull up on the bootstraps and get the thing right.
All right,
sir. Tell them right.
Give thanks,
bless them. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've said it before, I have said it before, that in terms of taking accountability, politicians taking accountability, I feel like there's small things that can be done. Because most politicians don't use them salary. Yeah, because them get them little perks and traveling and them get them drive and all of these things. And literally, one very easy solution, because them have consolidated fund, which is crazy. Because education tax don't used to pay for education. Right? But if every single politician, from councillor, go all the way up, based on like maybe a percent, and not even a percentage, drop $5,000 in a one pool every month, because I whole heap of politician out there. $5,000 in a one pool every month, and every month the money that go to a different school, different type of school, primary, early childhood, high school, right? For use for resources, for put in, whether it's equipment, whether it's replace equipment, or for provide resources for a department or whatever, and just circulate it every year throughout the different school. You start with the school and have the least amount of resources.
Because you have 60 politicians already, just in a parliament alone. You have so
just like alone. We're not talking about the council them. We're not talking about opposition. Right? Like literally, put a $5,000 in a one pool. Like, you know, say the only thing that is going to go do is go to a school. They say, join that school, it got to that. It would have helped. And next thing, Marcus Garvey said that politicians should be paid adequately enough that if them abuse the public trust,
they must put to
that death sentence.
They must stone them to death.
Literally.
And them wife too.
I'm literally feel like if them did understand, if that was like a system where they get put in place, if them just listen to Marcus Garvey and put that system there in place, I feel like the whole thing would have so much better. Because the fact of the matter is, people who are got in there, not for serve the people, who for make sure that the people them all right. If those were the people who were going in there, the system would have been better. I'm not saying that have people who go in there with the intention to, but me can't see how somebody can go in politics in Jamaica under the current system and don't get corrupt.
According to one politician to our next one, them going there for full then cry.
Or something. But literally there is no accountability.
None.
In the whole system there in terms of what's supposed to happen. I mean, like, you can get charged with corruption and then you go back to the school and you expect, say, you forget all of the pay. When it's back home, and them have to pay you. Like,
some of them say them in a, what them call it, house arrest, but them have all the things them where they did before them, where they was teacher. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. But we know which part. Yes, EL.
Yeah, Mota.
Yeah, blessed man.
Yeah, man, Rastafari, and bless up to the old man.
She name Aishama.
Our next politician say, there's a feature say, power corrupt and absolute power.
Power corrupt, absolutely. Yeah.
To me, mates, we live in a very corrupt world.
All right, you know, you can't take out the whole time, so you have to talk fast.
1 minute. All right, miss. I'm not that educated person, right? Yet still, me get time among students in class. I'm a little girl, young, I go to basic school. And nowadays, I talk already on program on this station where I go on basic school and you have a little girl. She's like stubborn. Nobody can really tell her what to do. And if you tell her what to do and you go like you want to go like you're tough, look at she's in she go like she's tougher than you. And the teacher give me a day in the class. Because I always tell them, I don't think I like how they approach the teachers to these children, right? And when I'm in the class, I look at everybody what they are doing, right? And me say, me give them something to do, and when we observe this little girl, how she behave, I go to her and I never force her to do nothing. You know what I try to do? Reason with her. You know, as young as she is, and start to tell her some things like, you want people call you dunce? You go up and you can't read, and people call you say you can't read. The more reason with her and try to inspire her to want to learn. And that day the child do all her work. She do her work. And my little girl, I go to school, and when I teach her look for me, and they ask me, say, I tell her, I'm not a bright person. I think me get a one pick me and she have to go to school, and me have to make sure she learn. Me make sure she go learn. So, she teacher look for me and ask me, say, how will you do to your child, make? She can't do her work the way she do her work. And I say to myself, but I hear you are teaching. Or you don't know if you deal with children to make sure you get the best out of them. That me never say it to the teacher, you know, but me say it to myself when she ask me that. Because the point is, me I go look on who in front of me, like how me are the elder one then. And me suppose I can look on what they are doing and analyze them situation and know how to approach each student. So if you give me a class that with 20 picnic, right, I gotta analyze everybody. Those who me say I do them work well enough, because probably them have a parents that help them at home. You have some parents now help them pick at home. So they might be a little more backwards. So me, you know, I gotta spend more time round the picnic them who seems more backward to try bring them up to the levels where the other children are in. I think the approach of education is not proper in Jamaica, probably out in the world too. As Melissa Cabo program one day, and she interview a lady where our next lady said to her, but if we teach them and make sure that them learn properly, we're going to come wash the clothes, we're going to do certain things for us. You know, I think there's a system though. We definitely don't want us to be at the levels of education so that we can be like servants, slaves. You know, something just not right, you know.
All right, I agree, anyway, but I just want to respond to what you said in that nutshell. So all of those things that you're saying, consider this, that you have a teacher, a human being who probably have 1, 2, 3, or however many children at home, not getting paid enough, have 40 or 30 odd students in that class dealing with on a regular basis. When children just meet you, they behave a particular way. After them get used to you, there's a different side of them that you will see. Because I've heard people say, soldier people say, oh, they just want somebody come in front of them and discipline them. And man come in front of them and have a runway, like big army captain or whatever, have a runway. Yeah. And I agree with you in that the system need to sort out that the approach to teaching needs to be addressed, but there's a holistic aspect of it that people want to look at and say, oh, is the teacher not dealing with the students properly? Yeah. But you have to consider that as a human being, there are lots of other factors. The teacher probably not have enough resources to be able to do that differentiation there. Yeah? The teacher have to be creative. And it's hard for creative when the school every single year, ministry and administration are drop on whole heap of other tasks. We have to do up. I mean, like when I was in England, yeah, I literally did not have to write any lesson plans, because they had the resource that was there that you needed to go in. You make amendments to it just to suit the students that you have. But it's a matter of fixing it up to address that, as opposed to having to create everything from scratch. And that is another aspect of it. All of the administrative work. In England, literally, register is just, you go up on the computer way in front of you and you take the register here, teacher have to take register, then them have to go go in a one book and write up the numbers in there. Then them have to put it on one computer system, even though them say computer, but ministry still want book and pen and paper information in there. That there's contradictory stuff slamming the teachers left, right, and center. And at the same time, you're expected to mark 40 odd book with 5, 6, 7, 8 different subjects. If a primary school is there, in a high school, it is you have 6, 7, 8 classes where you have 40 odd students to do. You have a set exam, you have a set assessment, you have a set test, you have to mark them, you have to report on them. And so all of those things need to be addressed within the system.
Has to be addressed.
Yeah, man.
Apart from addressing and helping the teachers,
one teacher,
to understand how to do the things and how to make life a little easier, so them to drop down and then pan the job.
Sure. And all right. Me there school and me talk to teach about
everybody
it,
think them can teach until, but them now go in our classroom, go stand up in front of the 40 and picking them.
Yeah. Me talk to the teacher them about these things, you know. When my little girl go especially at primary school. She just started high school now. Right? And them say is where them gives them to do, cause me observe what is happening and me say, why am I not approaching it this way? And them say, but away the other one, them, the Ministry of Education give us to do and we have to do what them say. You know? And me say, but some approach just now make no sense, but I always say to myself, all right, the teacher them more grown up and have more experience. So why are they not come together, reason amongst themselves and bring it with a force to those above them? Because in the end, if things not go right, the children them are going to feel it the most because they are the most delicate and inexperienced one. You know, so I feel like the grown up need faith. Me, so all bad things are going on say. Sometimes I sit down, I not know what to say, you know.
Ministry conducts consultations on regular basis. And what generally tends to happen is that they take these things, put them into a report. Some consultants say, this is my report, this is what I say. And then say, okay, we're going to put this into place. Based on what the teacher them experience, tell them. Teacher don't get compensated, but consultant get paid how much millions of dollars to get information from the teacher them. Yeah?
All right, then.
So all of those things. And again, I not say it not for fix. I not say it can't fix. I'm saying the system is set like that. And as I said, the experienced teacher them have to take care of them family and them cut and gone for it.
All right, Virgin, give thanks, yeah?
Yes, sir. Mankind have great history, you know, where we can look back on, you know, and learn. But something happened with something about mankind is like instead of them improve, it's like them.
Them are regress.
You know?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, rapper move. Give thanks, yeah? All right. Yeah, this is the cutting edge, different vibes. You know, we talk to an international teacher here, I must say, and also one who has traveled a few continents, and we give thanks. So she come back to Jamaica too, after sojourning out there, and realize, you know, we're no better than yard. We should have really gone over yet still, because she don't start to teach in Africa yet. Like Ghana, where she go. Most time you go to Ghana. One time you go to Ghana.
South Africa.
And you know, go Brazil yet neither.
Yeah.
You go Brazil? You go Brazil? Go teach?
Oh, you need to teach?
No, you go to Brazil with me. You know, go Brazil to teach. Yes, EL.
Yeah, blessed.
Blessed, man.
Yeah, man. You see, you are Muta. With the teaching thing there. You see, the environment of the youth them there that affect still, but at the same time, you see, if the man them build the school them, because watch me, Trinidad build them school, you know. All of the Barbados build them school because the whole of the Caribbean island them get the money to build them school, you know. And Jamaica for build over 200 school and them going to build 51. Them build them say 51, and when one of when them do the hard time, it's a open land. It's a open land school of address and it's a open land. Then no school no build. You see it, so it's just a show, you know, from them time there.
any of them school that it build, you wouldn't find 50 people in a one class, and you wouldn't find the shift business after coming in. Yeah, you understand? The shift business will come in at Jamaica. When you look when a teacher teach 50 people, you know, and the whole of them are on the same level, you know, is that dangerous thing, you know? See?
Yeah.
So, you know, when you look all the way back star, them politicians, you know, them slope Jamaica. You know, slope Jamaica, and now them get a chance to start up Jamaica on a level where write a good constitution where we can hold them accountable, that them are that from them no want deal with that neither. You understand? So we have to wonder where Jamaica go. You understand? It's like I just back where Jamaica go through them politicians. You see? But we have to just show the youth them, and the youth them phone powerful enough. You know, say, the know man we all learn language off a phone.
Yeah, well, you have apps to teach you. You have apps to teach you language. You have AI where repeat the word to you and I correct you and all them something.
So what do you them to do? A man can use them phone, man. I don't know in them time, you know, them shall really that improve because we don't still have 18% seeing a youth pass all 5 subject and all that thing there. You know, it really gone low motor.
Yeah.
You know? It really gone low.
All right,
you know?
sir. Keep plan.
Are you that time of the soda?
Yeah, man. You me say it, man.
Yeah, big.
One out of two.
Yeah, 1 out of 2. I know 2 that man. Yeah, she travel the world too. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, well, she used to go with me, but she get big now and I go by herself.
And I go by herself. Yeah, you know. Yeah, man. Really bless up, you know, because watch me. You see, human rights on the whole level, because to me, it's a matter of human rights. It's a matter of enough countries in South America and make me going, seeing card, you know, I saw me get to deal with all the language thing there.
Okay,
you know?
okay.
So,
all right.
You know, but anyway, yeah, man, bless her up, man.
Yeah, man, give thanks, man. She hear you, man. She hear you. Irie.
Yeah, man, bless her. Yeah.
Yes, we there with you. Okay. Play the little tune until the break. The man drop off, all right. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Listen, even before our teacher, Marcus Garvey Jr., was the 7th President General of the UNI and ACS in 1992. From in the 1960s, he and his mother, another Pan-Africanist, have always said that the only thing acceptable to Pan-Africanists for Marcus Garvey is exoneration. Because
no, hold on. We got to talk to our guests inside of the studio about education, you know. What you going to talk about is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. You know what we're going to talk about?
A bit about education.
Yeah, we're going to talk about education and because we don't really want to talk about what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
All right, well, hear this. Listen to me. I'm going to mention something about education then, right? Because I heard a bit of that. I'm just saying exoneration and not pardon, because pardon means he was guilty and he was innocent.
Yeah, we know
respect
that.
To education, with respect to education,
yeah.
My parents were head teachers. And because of that, I have known that it is most important that the number of students per teacher is absolutely important. And having 40 or 50 in a class is very, very bad in terms of...
Ridiculous.
Yes. In fact, the very most I would say that a class should have, the very most should be 30. The very most.
That don't sound too much to you still.
What's that?
That don't sound too much to you still.
No, you notice I said the very most. So really and truly, we're talking like, say, between 20 and 25. You understand?
Wait, hold on. Wait about that, Aishi, Shama.
Yeah, that's what the ministry says as well, that the student...
So that 30?
The student-to-teacher ratio should be 25-1.
So what you think about it?
Which is what I just...
No. Shall say you are still where the system say.
No, but yeah, that is a reasonable number. I mean,
That's a reasonable number,
on what you can reasonably expect one person in a room to deal with when you're supposed to be teaching.
So that's 25-1 is a reasonable thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Which is what I said based on the fact of, as I told my parents, being head teachers for years, so I know that type of thing, and with schools. And even with Marcus Garvey Jr., my physics teacher, and others at Kingston Technical, Campion College, etc., is that kind of ratio. It was roughly...
we never have 50 school students in one class. No, at all.
Yeah, precisely. That's what I just said.
Yeah, so like madness.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's madness. You know what I mean? It's really dumbing down, and this is the kind of thing that the government in Jamaica is supposed to be dealing with properly, instead of dealing with other matters that are not advancing the country. Because as we know, the youths are the future of any country. And if the youths are not catered for educationally, then the society will retrogress and not progress. You know? Those are the real issues that must be dealt with. And talking about education too. And this is why we need, as you and I and others have said, to have, like, say, the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey in the school system and the syllabus also. You know, that is part of it, to give the children in the school a proper understanding or overstanding of our first national hero and that type of thing. You know, that is very, 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 very important. You know, you see, and thing.
All right.
And Muta, remember, next year is gonna make the 130th anniversary of Kingston Technical High School, you know.
Okay.
Which was founded in 1896, the very year that Emperor Menelik II of Ethiopia and his army defeated the Italians at the Battle of Adwa in March. You know what I mean? So we have to contribute. And I like the Scotty where you play Kingston Technical Man again, where you play just before the ad break.
Lower?
Come back, see. That.
Scotty.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. The Kingston Technical.
Technical man. David Scott from Westmoreland.
All right, sir.
You know?
Yeah, man. Give time.
All right. So, keep on keeping on. Man, you have the exoneration. No part. Fire burn.
Hello, good night.
Yeah, good night.
No one could have talked to the teacher specifically.
Yeah, man. Shall listen, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, ask her, what do you think about the migration of teachers? How it affected the children? And if you was the Minister of Education, what would you do to alleviate that problem?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, when it comes to the actual leaving part of it, one of the main reasons that one of the push factors for any sort of migration is quality of life and remuneration. Yeah? One of the things that I've always spoken about when it comes down to remuneration packages for teachers, which is not discussed enough in the public space, is that the majority of the times when the JTA comes to teachers and says, okay, we're going to do contract negotiation, what are the things that you want us to negotiate for? Them usually preface it with say, remember, say the government not have no money. And when all teachers understand, say, no government not have no money. Right? They never have money. And worldwide, it's an issue in terms of teachers moving out. So part of the reason there are spaces for teachers to go into is that teachers are leaving those spaces there.
Yeah.
In terms of Jamaica, Jamaica has a very strong nationalistic pride, people who are here. And there are a lot of teachers who would stay if it did make sense. And especially men, when you think about for men, as much as I must say Jamaica tends to be a female-headed household, but you have the men who are there also, because you tell a man, say, he's supposed to take care of his family. And you tell him, say, you want male role models in the schools to be there for the male students them. But the pay what them I get is ridiculous and crazy. All right. So you don't have no money for give them. So it's a little bit of money and we give them. The increase a lot crazy. Increase in a salary cannot be less than inflation rate. And like literally whenever them do that, them split it up so that literally that is what happens. So that's a one. That would have to fix. However they need to fix it, that would have need to fix. The other thing is those other things like housing and vehicle concession and stuff like the things that people in a Jamaican society say that's what they're going after. These things need to be put in place. There are a lot of things that can be done. Stuff like registered household of teachers, yeah, get a special rate at Water Commission and Jamaica Public Service. Yeah, those utility companies. And literally them can get tax exemption for fees. Right? So them can do tax exemption for those companies and you literally give the teacher. So one light, the household registered to the teacher, say you get a particular discount. That because literally these are the things. Being able to spend money, like literally the whole of your money go towards your bills among time. Vehicle concession, the ministry said that teachers are, what is it now? Public servants, not civil servants. Therefore, unless you're a traveling officer, which is like guidance counselor, vice principal, principal, and a couple others maybe, you cannot qualify to get a vehicle concession. And literally, we're talking about money where the government are charged you for bringing a vehicle. So literally, the government can say, okay, teachers can get the concession. Right? Because teachers don't get paid for overtime. We don't get paid for overtime. So literally, whatever hours you work, it's just the same set of money again. So all of these things can be put in place. The other things that where teachers spend their money on, food. And we're talking about basics now. So food. So the supermarket chain them, they can get another set of government, some whatever concession or whatever tax write-off or whatever to provide discounts for teachers. Right? All of these things, if these things are put in place, yeah, it will make it easier for the teacher to survive upon whatever the money it is that they're giving there. When you look on in 2016, I was one of the representatives for JTA, and one of the things that the heads of agreement that they had there that was written, signed off on, was concession card for teachers. That's from 2016. And every year since that, whenever they ask me here, say, they need to have discussion. Like literally, JUTC is a government organization, it's a government entity. So all the government needs to say is, teachers, bring in your teacher ID to confirm that you are a teacher, and you get a card that say that is a concession card that you put on here. Like literally, that has never been put in place. I mean, these things where the teacher them put forward and say, these are the other things that we're saying instead of you having to spend direct money. Yeah, them no one put them in place. A lot of the contracting as well that teachers go for is conditions of service. So that thing where we're talking about the teacher to student ratio, right? When we're talking about the support systems that the government needs to put in place, when we talk about the infrastructure that needs to be put in place, right? These are also things that are negotiated for, but they are not actively put in place to make life easier for teachers.
Let me put something to Aisha, man. the things, the concessions, them where you ask for, things say you open a Pandora box for the fireman come, for the nurse come, for the security them come. If someone
all right, fine, then pay the teacher them overtime. Then pay the teacher them overtime. Like all of those other groups that you're talking about, if them work over the time when they're supposed to schedule for,
them get overtime.
Them get paid overtime for it.
I never know say never get overtime.
No.
I never know that the teachers don't get overtime.
Yeah.
Like literally we get paid, we are paid for 9 months.
Yeah.
But it is split over 12 months to make sure that in the summer we
everybody
get
do that. Them do that to everybody.
Yeah, I think teacher contract is different from the other public sector workers. So even the student population, where you have like 40 and so on, the amount of student that is coming up each year, right? The population then is moving at a rapid rate. What do you think needed to be done?
I don't even know if it's necessarily like the population is moving at a rapid rate. I think it's more migration that is the issue in the context of of rural to urban migration.
Yeah. So
because you do have schools that are in rural areas.
It's moving up into the.
They don't have those class sizes, then them have classroom were empty.
All right.
Right? That's a one. Two, there's also the consideration that, as the gentleman did say, I don't remember which one did say, but that you have, Shane? Anyway, when it said that no, because he was saying that you have the 3 school them and like literally people, they're near to one school, and I said that people go all the way.
Yeah, man, I mean, did I make a
Shane said.
Right. So, in terms of ensuring that the quality of education in all of the institutions is on par. So if you have high achieving students within the area, when them go at a particular school, they're supposed to get high quality education, whichever way. So if you cater to the science student, then the facility is supposed to be there. The lab
yes, man, that's my point.
Well started out, well equipped, all of that that. If you have the low attaining students, then it means you have pull-out classes where you can have with the specialists them to help them to reintegrate them in the regular classes eventually. Yeah. So all that is the other aspect of it in terms of the sizes and stuff like that, because you have schools that are underpopulated. Right? While you have other schools that are overpopulated.
So it's not distributed across Ireland.
Yes, sir. All right, sir.
Yeah, man. Respect for the talk,
yeah, man, give thanks.
Guidance session.
Yeah, I don't know why should I do that program another day.
Just to add one more thing, in terms of like with the migration something too, there are a lot of teachers who would come back to Jamaica.
Yeah, only for them come back.
No. There are a lot more who would come back. But one of the other things that the ministry have in place, which is ridiculously crazy, is if you leave out of teaching for over a year, when you come back, you start at the bottom of the scale. So you who have 20 odd years experience and you go foreign for 5 years to make a little change and come, you say you would have considered for come back. It don't make sense to come back and you make less money than where it starts, where it is left. And that's crazy. Like literally everywhere else considers yours. When we go to England, I was literally at the top of the scale when we could have did there, and that was my first year there. Yeah? So like literally that is like a next crazy thing. I mean, no people come back and go way back because of the same something.
Yeah, but when me tell me what you get to England, I feel like I go turn teacher. I go to England, I go turn teacher. When me hear what you get, anyway. Yes, it's a very important subject, very important topic, because we know it affects everyone. It affects the doctor them who get taught by a teacher. It affects every farmer who get taught by a man who into agriculture. So we need to really watch how it work out and say, so what is your plan now? Seeing that back at KC, you had, or them not give you principal. I think you come back as principal.
No.
I mean,
that is not anywhere in my plan at all. I do not like administration.
Oh, the principal is just administrator.
No, I mean, you have principal and vice principal will teach too, but they say the hardest part of any job are the people.
The principal at Kentucky never used to teach. Them sit down in my office every day.
No, well, my principal not teach either. Most principals don't teach. But that is the problem. There's a not teaching part. And I think I like teaching. I like teaching.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. I like it. But like when I go to school at daytime, dealing with the students, them are the best part of the day. Yeah. I mean, you have students where no one do no work or whatever, but I don't have a problem. That's because of where them I go through and whatever. And I feel like it's my responsibility for trying.
Students usually say hard though.
Yes.
And
I'm miserable.
You're not hard.
And I'm miserable.
Well, we know that for a long time, but...
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I make sure that they understand why. Because it's about being prepared.
And your students, them always get big marks. And I can see that, man. You youth them up there with the marks, them, especially when them their bellies there. I send me some big marks there. Wow.
Yeah, subject awards and all these things.
Yeah. Anyway, we give thanks, so you wake up. After you drop asleep, we give thanks, so you wake up to do this because I feel it's very good that you hear it from somebody who has experienced Jamaica and then leave and go and next country and leave and go and next country and come back to Jamaica. There's not many teachers that know that. And there's not many teachers that really that go at 3 different places and teach, and you go around and come back around. Maybe you should have planned to start at school. You ever think about that?
I've thought about it over the years.
But what?
But nothing.
So where you wait for?
That's administration.
Then I get to employ somebody to do it. The administration. Employ somebody to administrate. What you mean? That is what it means, That is also a business. So you don't have to do everything in the business.
Yeah.
And since you say you love teach, you just go like a normal teacher in the school, but like the big boss, when him come along in the store, you never know say him are the boss, You never know say the boss that. When in Jamaica, sometimes you know say him colors. Him have a different color, but basically the boss be totally different from the worker. So maybe you can be the owner and nobody don't know still. Anyway, give thanks. We're going to come forward here at 2 o'clock with the stepping razor, the art of war, and your Mandingo just go to mention Marcus Garvey. We're going to talk about that tomorrow with the president of the UNIA in America. Yeah, so while it's not for that. Meanwhile, with 2 subjects, the subject of teaching and the subject of Marcus Garvey, as we say, we now stop playing. Oh, we have a call? Okay. 1 call. Yes, Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah, blessed.
Most honorable.
Yeah, man, blessed, man. Oh, you look.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Brownstone, man.
Little question. Brownstone, man, see me in a run road box study. Yeah. So, a question to more just give the listener them a hint how you feel if you know the general in the Tudor and them data there over there, so they make them intelligent speech.
How me feel?
How you feel within yourself. Just give you a little hint.
I don't feel over me talk to fresh about me talk.
I'm tour all over, but like this now, like I first, me really I hear this.
No, man, me not talk on radio already, man.
Okay.
Yeah, but me not talk on sitting with
Good morning, Teach.
Morning.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you make it sound like you're all over now. Good morning, teach.
Real, man. You sound just like your mom.
Where you hear our mom? Where you hear our mom from?
Me hear man from the radio.
Which radio?
I know Jackie, I man.
No, man, I know Jackie that this one.
Yeah, but she sound like Jackie, might be.
She sound like Jackie?
Yeah.
Eh? No, sir. Really? Maybe the outspokenness, but the sound
in
sound like.
In our region there, for real.
The outspokenness, so she chew her thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, sir.
So teach, how they treat the teachers them back over in the state.
No, hold on, man. You gone over the program. Look, I have tried to go over about the program, right?
Come on, I quick and fast thing, man. I just a quick thing, yeah.
If I ask you, them teach, them treat the teacher, them.
For the most part, I mean, when you go there, so because their whole them system set up, basically as you go there, them pay you based on your qualifications, based on your experience. When you go there, granted, there's a thing, because Jamaican teachers generally, there's this kind of tendency to give them like more difficult classes.
Okay.
Yeah? But I think that's part of it. Like what somebody had said to me was that like the picking them because we come from Jamaica, them don't try ramp with the Jamaican teacher them.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of how to pick, as I say, I don't usually have issues with students in terms of discipline and stuff like that. You have the one and two.
You know how to deal with them. You're your voice, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, you just like, you literally have to know, say, when it come down to it, them are going to look out for them own. That's how everybody's there. Any country where you go, them are going to look out for them own. So you just know, so you just go do your thing.
Best as you can. And two questions in one. Your best experience so far and your worst experience in your career of teaching.
I think my best experience was when I met a parent the other day since I came back, and I taught her son when I was in grade 9, which was one of the other times when I was in the studio with Daddy. Because I had a set of students, grade 9 students, who the what I call the higher achieving set, a lot of them were in the National Youth Orchestra. And
that's how they do the music.
Carried them to the studio. Yeah. And then the other set was just like, they were more into popular music, so dancehall and every minute a beat rhythm in my class and whatever. And I took them, I gave them an assignment as a revision exercise in groups to create a song or a poem or something like that. And I took them to the studio and they recorded it and we created a CD from it with the lyrics and everything, like official CD with sleeve and everything.
That was the time when he was in the studio, don't I already watch it?
Yeah, I think one of them did come did the on the radio. And the parent was telling me that for her, when our son did come home with the CD in his hand, because he was like literally now him there in England now too, apparently, and him there in a chamber choir and all of these things, and the school where him there, they get scholarship because I'm singing and stuff like that, and he was a lead for the KC choir, chapel choir concert.
The worst thing.
Worst thing. You can't think of no worst thing.
She said she can't think of no worst thing.
Can't think of no worst thing.
You just love what you do at your craft.
Yeah, that she said. She said that before.
Yeah. And please, before the program finishes, just give one little piece of your poem. Not much.
We play one already, man. We play one already. Who you talking, man?
No, never hear. Just even.
No, I'm doing about the program, man. Have 4 minutes.
You got the lips by them.
Yeah, all right. Give time.
No, Jeffrey Dunster.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, man. I hear up Shane Clark. And Shane don't feel no way to come in at the conversation no matter why, you know.
Yeah, man, no problem, man.
Yeah, man, just come in. You're part of this program.
Yeah, like I'm actually here reading the Costa Commission report.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's a good read.
Yeah, you make sure I go read it. Sit down there and read it. Sit down there and read it. All right. She's receptive that way there. All right.